Well, can you tell me the fucking time? Well, I'll tell you what the time is. It's time to wake up, yeah. Pick a word, my friends. This conspiracy, feed you full of fucking lies, eating shit and spitting me. Suffocation round my back is rooted in my eyes. I got a fucking noose. You're hanging out tonight. Wake up, yeah. Time to wake up.
If I was a rich man, ooh dooby 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 doo, I wouldn't have a podcast. Ooh dooby 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 doo, I'd be sitting on a beach somewhere, sipping margaritas instead of recording episode 112 of the Big Conspire. Yo, oh bro, this is Big Conspire, episode 112. I'm Rick.
I'm Lee.
Hey, how you
That was a
doing?
great intro. Thanks for that, bro.
Hey.
How long did it take you to come up with that?
4.5 seconds, I think. I was just thinking
It
of it.
sounded like it.
Yeah, I know. That's how long it took me to, I don't know, decide what to do in this life as well before I was born. 4.5 seconds. Well, it's like, just as you're coming out, what are you going to do? Oh, fuck it all up. Pretty much. You know that thing when you, apparently you decide what you're going to do before you're born and decide your parents. You're like, just like, how can you like on a, I'm just going to go straight into it. You're like on like some kind of weird roller coaster, like, oh, I'm picking them parents, I'm picking that life. Shit, you're just like pressing buttons, crash into the life. Does that make sense? No, not whatsoever. I
Makes
don't agree.
perfect sense.
Perfect sense. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Well, evidently pretty good because
Yeah. How's your face?
Yeah.
Getting any better?
it's like forwards 1 step, backwards 12. Feels a little bit like that. I can still talk to dolphins, so everything's good. It's right as long as I don't talk to anyone or breathe or something like that. I don't know.
Oh,
It's slow. It's so slow. Like, I
slow and
don't-
painfully slow, although not
I think
painful.
I'm disabled. I think I can get some disability for this shit. I think it's
I always thought you
permanent.
was disabled anyway.
Yeah, but really, really disabled. I
You
don't
got
mean
the
like
proof.
just like, yeah. I don't just mean genetically disabled like you are as well. I mean like,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
something else, some other kind of like weird shit going on. Oh man, I don't know. What's happening? What's happened in your?
Then I got low energy today. Feel like I'm low energy.
We'll bring the energy up. We'll start.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. My chair keeps squeaking as well when I move it. But can you hear that?
No. Can you do
Got
this?
fevers in my nose.
I hate
Annoying. My
fevers.
eyes are itching.
I feel like
I
shit.
want to go to
basically.
sleep.
You could have gone to sleep.
Oh, I'm doing a podcast. I want
No,
sleep
no.
and podcast. I'll sleep later.
Oh no.
Sleep when I'm dead. Not that I'm going to be dead
That's it.
later, hopefully not, but you know what I mean.
Well, you probably sleep less when you're dead than you do when you're alive because you don't
Makes
need
no
to sleep when
sense.
you're dead. It does because you don't need to sleep when you're dead. Do you? Maybe you do. Maybe you do need to rest. I don't know. I've thought of that. Because this is like sleep's like a physical thing. Like you're like me. Like I have to do this because my eyes are dry as fuck because I've got fucking.
No, I was doing that
face.
because of what you're saying. It's like,
Oh,
what?
like
I suppose you
well,
mean if you die and go somewhere else. Like
well, you
your-
do when not
your
in
spiritual
when you do.
thing. Well, I don't
Like
know
when you
that.
want to, you got to like shut off and recharge. Do you sleep? Do you like go
No.
nap? And like you wake up, it's like 10,000 years later. You're like, for fuck's sake, I've missed everything.
No.
Like the World Cup and
Well,
everything.
time doesn't exist when you're dead.
Exactly. So you don't need to sleep. So
No.
you just blink and that's just you're recharged.
You won't need to recharge.
It's just mind mashing. Because your energy though, so you have to recharge. Well, you don't.
Why
'cause
would
you're
you?
infinite. You're infinite, immortal being of supernatural, powerful energy. So you never need
Yeah.
to recharge.
There is no recharging.
I'm dribbling outside of my mouth now. I'm dribbling. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Like, do you
Of
blink?
course you don't know how it works. If you did, you'd have the answers to everything, wouldn't you?
No, well, I'm thinking about it. Do you blink? Do you breathe?
You want to?
Do you think? Do you even think? Or you just a fault? You just like instant faults and instant like. Can you work out problems? Are there problems?
not know
Is there
everything?
no problems? That is the thing. There was a thing the other day, which is not just a thing the other day because I've thought about it and seen the thing before. About I don't know, just the universe is itself, experience itself individually. Blah, different experiences. Blah. That's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about me.
Yeah.
My new business. No, I've got one. I lied.
Your new business of lying.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So what's going on in the world? Or what's going on? I don't know, our world.
With you, what's going on with you, bro? You've always got stories.
I got a story. I've got no supernatural paranormal stories. Oh, I got a dream story.
Go on then, bro. I'll go over it then. Have you had any meaningful dreams? If you haven't got
Actually,
anything
no,
else,
I haven't. Only like last night, I had the most terrifying nightmare that I can't explain. Just like it was just the feeling of it. Just right, I can't explain. I can't show you it because I can't even see it myself. But I know there were knives involved, and it was like some terrifying, evil. It was something. It was more than just a dream. It was one of those things that was seeping through the fabric of reality, trying to get into my world. Oh, it's terrifying. I woke up. I had this. Whatever happened in the dream, I don't really know. Again, knives trying to stab me, things flying, shit going on, just the worst. And I woke up and it was 3:33 because I looked at the time. And I was thinking I need to go down to the toilet, and I thought there's no fucking way I'm leaving this room, going anywhere. I'm not doing. I'm not moving. I was terrified. I woke up terrified. It was so
like irrational. You just
absolutely.
I'm not
You know, it was so. Wow. And then I had another dream after that. After I managed to get through my fucking terrifying experience, go back to sleep. I was an Arab in the Middle East, as you are. Like I think I was in Iraq. Basically, I can remember seeing my the caftan and stuff. I was wearing a caftan, but I just remember then looking at a map and seeing how America had just fucking bombed the shit out of everything, like worse than they've ever done before. It was like there was these explosions on this map, and they were just covering everything. Absolutely fucking smashed everything. Like I don't know if they were nukes or something like that, but it was like I don't know, some terrifying new American bringing democracy to everyone experience. Just saying.
Thanks for that. Do you reckon that's a prophetic dream then?
I hope not. Although, do you know what? I don't know if I said about this a lot. I always say this in all I have podcasts.
Not there's much prophecy to that because it's bound to happen sometime soon, isn't it?
Well, they're aren't they building a fleet of or grouping a fleet of B-1 atomic bombers in the Rio in the Garcia. What's it called? Garcia? Yeah. They said it's because they've given Iran 20 days to stop their nuclear research. Yeah. What's it called? The fucking Garcia place? Rio Garcia. You know what I'm talking about, anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do I? I don't know. Must be a base or something. The name rings a bell. I'm
not a Trump-tard by any means. They're all, I've always said before, they're all dicks and they're all into their own sort of thing. I think actually, I thought the last lot were probably more capable of being as despots and whatever. But fuck me, the gloves are off. This lunatic, but everybody's like the people that are on board. Shit, man, there's some cult shit going on there.
There is, isn't it? Proper cult.
Yeah,
proper culty. No matter what happens, they're like, nah, it's all good.
I tell you what, there's some proper Hitler shit going on. There is,
There it is.
Shit.
It is looking like they want to go that way.
But usually, you get in a regime, it will go. I think it'll go slowly, or there'll be, unless there's like a big military takeover, then it'll go quick. But
yeah,
I don't know. And but again, you don't necessarily know what you're hearing, do you? As well with stuff like
no.
Because it can be the other side saying certain. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about people being taken off the street by ICE or being, arrested. I don't know. You told me a story the other day about the chap who had tattoos for his autistic brother, and he got
Yeah. I mean,
arrested. And
you're hearing lots of stories at the moment about people, you know, being arrested and deported for ridiculous or not any real reason. They're just because they speak a foreign language or seem to speak a foreign language
I mean,
or have a second language that's foreign. They just seem to be sweeping people up and taking them away.
If a country wants to refuse, rescind visas for whatever reason, and say you can't study here, you can't work here, you know what? Countries can do that. That you're not like arresting them with like gangs of immigrants. I don't know, just the whole sort of terror thing about it. You know, like the whole way it seems to be going about. You know that it's doing that for a reason, to scare people.
There was the media this morning where I can't remember what woman it is, US woman in going to the prison. I don't know if she was actually at the prison or whether it was a green screen. I didn't pay that much attention, but she's there and she's like, oh, this is where you're basically going to end up, which is that prison in, where is it? El Salvador.
Yeah, Salvador.
You know, the one where they're all like...
Yeah,
they're like under complete and utter control. They're like, this is where you're going to end up if you come to our country illegally, or even if we just... I don't know if she said, we don't like you. I wasn't paying that much attention, but just use and doing it as like a social media post as if it was a great thing, like it's a really good thing. And when you see these stories, you look on social media and you look at the comments, the people cheering it on, like, oh yeah, you know, this is great. They're going to deport all these people. It's like,
are they real people? They could be, it could just be, bots. And
yeah, it could be. It could entirely be that. But there's obviously some people out there who support that way of thinking, but learn from history. You're not, you're on the list as well. Somewhere down the line, they're going to run out of people and then you're going to be on the list. Or you're are you not the sort of people who are going to back them up and do hideous shit because of, you're clapping for the party who want to take away your rights and freedoms? Because it's plainly written down. It's in the books they're following, the plays they're following that people know about, is written in there to do all this sort of stuff, and they're trying to push it through.
It's scary because they've got the apparatus to do it, and got the manpower and the money and everything like that to actually do it.
Talking about taking people away, there's that, I think this morning or yesterday, come out on social media about them arresting the woman in a college. And like approaching her on the street, not really, first of all, not identifying themselves, just approaching her like a man in a no uniform in a mask, and then like grabbing her. Must have like properly shit herself. And then another couple come out, and then eventually a couple appear and they've actually got badges out. But before that, it just looked like she was being
abducted,
like abducted off the street by random people. I mean, eventually maybe that will happen. There'll be people with masks on, be like, oh, I'm ICE, come with us. They're dragged away. People watching go, oh, it's probably just ICE, but it's not going to be. It's just going to be random people kidnapping women or whatever. It's going to happen at some point.
I wonder how much of that happened in Nazi Germany. People claiming to be Gestapo or whatever.
I don't know, I'm sure it did happen.
Good point. I never.
And probably just to rob people and stuff like that. Take away their because it was a bit different there when all their property was forfeit, wasn't it? Like the Jewish property was forfeit, so there would be people robbing them and that. This is, I don't know, it's maybe building up to that. But yeah, they took the woman away, and she ended up when they found, got released where she was 1,000 miles away in a prison.
Yeah.
And that's because she wrote a blog or a post, something just saying that it wasn't even against the government. It was just the university universal people should be treated decently. Yeah. Yeah. But she didn't write, the thing she wrote wasn't against the government. It was just saying the university should openly say that what's happening in Palestine is wrong. That's all she wanted.
Yeah, she's just a foreign. Where was she from? Is she Iranian?
No, it's not. No, she's not Iranian.
I can't remember.
She was a Muslim. Lost my train of thought now. Oh, you're getting reports of people trying to get into America, and they're getting their phone looked at because of social media posts that aren't supporting of Trump. Like they've had anti-Trump, or not even just, not saying, not anti, but not saying positive stuff about him. They're being denied entry and saying, don't ever come back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's proper thought police, isn't it?
My wife and stepdaughter were due to go to America, New York, in
Well, if she is, I'd give her a new phone with her net out anything on it,
Well,
and just
without anything linking, who knows? Like, what do we do? Like,
yeah,
I'm
just
not
get
gonna
her a completely new phone, even like a cheap one to take, just while
Or-
she's there, like a burner
say-
phone type thing.
maybe don't go, love.
Well,
Maybe,
you
you
have
know
to
what I
see
mean?
what the world's like by then, won't we?
Exactly. Yeah, it's all. Yeah, and takes a
Or another thing earlier, someone was saying you got that. What's his name? Pete Hegseth, is it? Is that his name? The
I don't know who that is.
Jimmy so nice. The bloke in charge of the military in America now.
Oh, again, I don't.
But there was
fucking know
a new picture of him, and he was like doing like what's it when you do the muscle thing? You could see his arm. Apparently, he's got a new tattoo, which is he's got like the infidel tattoo, which is a new one because he's got what's it called? White supremacist tattoos anyway, hasn't he?
Oh, I don't.
Have you never seen
know,
him?
has he?
Apparently, he's got this
I know
new
you're
one now on
about
his arm, which is like infidel, which is
anti-Muslim.
yeah, it's like an anti-Muslim military thing. It's
I'm
yeah, so
infidel.
it's not.
I mean,
No, you are, but they use it as a Christian thing against
Yep.
like Muslims.
Can I point out that the Christians would also burn me? That's what I'm just saying. Like,
Anyway, apparently he's got a new. He's not a smart man because we've had that last in the previous week, that leak where they're doing should be confidential stuff.
should be confident. Yeah,
Invited the journalists in. Do you reckon that was a mistake or intentional?
I'm thinking it was intentional to try and see what maybe they were after the guy or after
They
somebody.
wanted him to release it before something went on, then they'd go after the media more.
That's what I think. Yeah, just.
I don't know, because I think he had the same initials as someone else who they may have wanted to get in there. So it's just
fair enough.
a mix-up.
Honest stupidity, not honest mistake. Honest
People
stupidity.
People are talking about it and saying, this stuff shouldn't be in this signal in it. Shouldn't be in this signal chat. I think the more interesting point of it is if you read it was in the Atlantic. If you actually read the piece about it, he says that in the chat the messages were set up to be deleted within like a week or whatever. So
what does that mean?
it goes through. Pardon?
What? Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah, but if it goes through like the official secure things, all the messages would be saved as official documents. Whereas in this chat, if they're talking about policy and in this chat, it gets deleted after 7 days. There's no paper trail about what they're saying or what they're arranging or what they're doing. That's got to be intentional, hasn't it?
So yeah, it does. Yes, it sounds intentional, doesn't it? To release it.
No. What I'm saying, they're using Signal because then it's untrackable. So in the, anything goes bad, say this regime goes fucking apeshit crazy. 5 years down the line, they manage to, they wrest control of, set some other government, get the government back, and they're looking at maybe crimes, war crimes, or anything like that. It's like, oh, what did these people say? Where's the paper trail? What have they done? And in these sort of chats, there is no paper trail because it's been deleted. There's no official documentation of what they've said, what they've done.
It's not putting on paper. It's just in like
yes. Well, no, because it gets deleted. If it was because they've got secure official channels, they're meant to be doing this stuff, and all that automatically gets saved and downloaded and.
So
because it's part of the governmental process.
Again, the thing of Nazi Germany.
But they kept records.
Say when they were talking about stuff, it's like
they've learned from it. It's like we don't need to keep these records. Yeah, keep in minutes. But now they're like, oh, we won't. Well, officially they have to, I suppose. But if they're doing stuff in these chats, none of this is ever going to be recorded and kept.
Well, I think history is going to be a witness. You can't hide. I don't know. All this. Oh gosh, for years we were talking about these massive compounds with all these plastic coffins.
Yeah, FEMA camps.
FEMA camps. Yeah, I couldn't remember what the bloody thing was called. Yeah. It was always so. If it was always if that's going to come into play, which is terrifying, then the whole thing, like everyone just falls for this whole fucking charade or this new person coming in and going to do this stuff, but he's always everything's always part of the plan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always part of the plan. You can't escape. It's like not Forrest Gump. Truman Show. Always part of the plan. Everything's planned.
That's that. Before it wasn't part of the plan. There's stuff there that people have made before, and they're like, oh, now we can use this because someone else has put it together. It doesn't mean it's.
I don't think so. It's part of the
I
plan.
know you don't think so. I'm just explaining to you how it could.
Part of the plan.
It could be.
Part of the plan, bro. I need
And
to change my background.
did you see the new fighter that the Americans are going to make? 6th generation fighter?
I didn't.
You didn't see about it, where Trump was saying it's going to be called the
6 years or something like that.
Well, yeah, but they're going to name it the F-47, isn't it?
Right, okay.
Is Trump the 47th president?
Oh, he's named it after himself, is he?
No, he said that he's there. I think this way is he the 47th president?
I don't know.
Because he's like, oh, it's the F-47, but people are calling him Felon 47, weren't they? So the F is for felon. And he's like, oh, the generals have named it themselves. They're calling it the F-47.
Oh.
Or if he is the 47th president, or maybe he isn't, I don't know. Maybe Biden was the 47th. Anyway.
It doesn't matter because they're all called Fs anyway, aren't they?
No, but it's gone from the F, whatever the last one was, to the F-47.
Because of 47, because of Felon 47.
Yeah.
Is it like a joke on him, is it?
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Let's have a quick.
F-47.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it means something else. He's signing executive orders, though, doesn't he?
Don't they always do that, though?
Yeah, probably.
Is that what now making a big thing like Trump signing? What am I signing for? Yeah, is it a good thing? Yeah, I just fucking. You know,
yeah, he's the 47th president, so it could be F Felon 47. Anyway, I think that's maybe it wasn't intentional. Maybe it was
president of the United States. Might I say?
Hopefully not.
Yeah, maybe.
I also saw something where they're trying to get support to have a conservative Congress, a conservative Congress or something, where it's if you get 32 states, I think it is, you can change the constitution. If you get them to agree on it, you can change the constitution, or like try and rewrite the constitution. And if you do that, you need 38 states, I think, to vote on the changes. But they're trying to do that at the moment as well.
Change it to what?
Well, nothing good. Not going to make it better, are they?
Imagine nothing.
Let's be serious.
No. Would it be like
literally rewrite the constitution? Amendments.
Do you know what? I don't think they're going to pull that off.
If they just ignore it.
I mean, like, UK's not got shit. We can, they just change stuff every time the government comes in. They can change stuff. We haven't got a constitution to protect us. No, they talk about
we have a constitution.
We don't really. It was based on that. We don't. There's nothing there to protect us.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
No one knows about it. Go on then. What is it then?
The British has got a constitution. It's not written down in a single document like America, but we entirely have a constitution. It's just
got a set of laws.
It's just different. Yeah, but it makes up our constitution. Look it up. We have a constitution.
Right. Okay. So
we have laws and processes.
But we have got laws. Yeah, but there's no. You never get taught. There's nothing there. Like there's no standard. No set
there
standard. No, what?
There's 100% is. You're talking rubbish. We've got laws. But
for fuck's sake, I know we've got laws.
But that's how things run, and we've got processes to enact those laws and get rid of them. We've got a constitution.
No, we haven't.
Okay.
It's not like you can. Everyone's got right to bear arms. If there was
because we've got laws that say you can't.
Hang on a minute. Exactly. So it's like if there was, it used to be able to have guns and stuff, right? Right. Just for an example. We have something. We have a parliament, etc., which can just change the laws, change any laws that are there. There's nothing set in stone. Like protect. I don't know. I don't even know what the
Like
fucking
what?
what the American Constitution is.
Yeah, but
I don't know,
American can change
Just a
their
minute,
laws as
let me-
well. I've just told you if they get enough people to agree on it, they can change their constitution.
I wasn't saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying like you always hear about our constitution and we've got a right to bear arms and stuff like that because it's set in our constitution. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But the whole point, you know, they're like ancient laws that were there to protect against tyrannical British governments or whatever like that. You know, you have to evolve. You know, you can't just go by some ancient fucking law, can you? Otherwise, I don't know, Mexico would be having that thing where they kick a concrete thing around and then sacrifice people. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about, you can't just go by ancient laws all the time, can you? You've got to evolve. If you do by that, then you just get retarded, don't you?
Right. Let me read this to you. I've just looked up. Does UK have a constitution? Yes, the UK does have a constitution, although it's not written down in a single document like in many other countries. The UK's constitution is spread across various sources, including acts of parliament, conventions, judicial decisions, and treaties. Okay.
I know, I'm not an idiot. It's like, but they're.
Well, you just said we didn't have one.
No, they're not set. There's not a set of laws that you
There
have
is.
to stick to that. There isn't.
Just told
Name
you
one.
there is. Why are you arguing
Name
with
one.
me? What law?
Yeah. Name one thing that's set in UK law that will never be changed.
Freedom of. What do you mean never changed is just dumb.
It's not. That's
Because
the whole
all
point
laws
of
can be
it.
changed no matter what country you're in. There is no constitution in any country that can't be changed ever. That's dumb.
Unless there's a law that goes. But you know what I'm talking about.
I understand, but it's the same. Our constitution is just as strong as Americans' constitution. It still takes acts and stuff. You can't just have a prime minister say, "I changed the constitution," and we change all these laws. It doesn't work like that. We have parliament. It gets
Change
voted
laws.
through parliament.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yes.
laws are part of it. What do you think constitutions are made up with?
There's no. Oh, I forgot to say. We've got no list of laws.
Just told you there is a list.
There's loads of laws that you can't a pregnant lady's allowed to pee anywhere, but even on your face or something like that. It's but it's not like 10 commandments. There's no 10 commandments anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, thou shalt not.
Well, no, of course there is. Well, there is 10 commandments. What do you mean? There is
I
a
don't
law.
know.
We've got laws. That's why you've got laws. They're written down in statutes and laws and all those sort of things. They're written in, there's probably books of stuff
just
stacked
change
up.
them just like that. Just we'll just change.
Yeah, but they don't change them just like that, do they? They vote on them.
Fucking just change that shit.
That's the point of having a parliament where you have.
Oh, look over there.
No. Yeah, you might not like the way they change them, but that's why you have a majority in the House of Parliament.
I didn't.
Enables you to change the laws.
Well, the point I was trying to make is the American system's shit. That's what I was trying to make.
Yeah. House is all right and theirs is shit. I don't know if that's true.
I was trying to say. I wasn't trying to run down our stuff. I was trying to say we can change ours, which is like a good thing, but there's nothing set. That's what I mean. No one knows. You can't ask anyone. Ask me what the British Constitution laws are. Ask me.
Yeah.
Ask me the question.
Well, ask any
Ask
law.
me to name one.
Name a law. Do you know any laws?
Exactly, none. Can't speed over 30 when it's 30, but it's not a criminal
I'm
offence.
not sure if that's part of the Constitution, but
Exactly.
but there are laws that all makes up a framework of how the country is governed. I don't know why you're arguing with me. You understand what I'm saying, or you're purposely just trying not to.
No, I just want you to name one.
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but there's plenty of people who you talk to, constitutional lawyers and that. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is part of the Constitution. Like our freedom of expression is built into our systems of governance."
Is it? Why can't you exercise it then?
Well, because they keep changing it and reducing the amount of freedoms you've got.
I'm going to say you can get arrested, or people being arrested for posting stuff on Facebook. You're going to say no, they haven't proved it.
I'm not going to say no, they haven't proved it. I'm going to say, what do they get arrested for?
For reposting old posts and stuff like that. And
About what?
Give you net. Doesn't matter, does it?
Of course it does.
If you repost someone else's post, it'd be like me reposting Hitler's literally on Twitter or something. Me posting Hitler's speech at the Reichstag, whatever, and then
Yeah.
getting arrested for it because I posted Nazi things. It's like I'm not
I
posting.
think it all depends what you said going along with it. Maybe if you said
Well-
this is a great thing, we should do this again, maybe you would be.
You should be
Someone might
arrested
knocking
for it,
on
yeah,
your door.
but-
I don't know if you'd should be arrested for it. Yes, I
Well, probably-
understand it.
probably-
It seems to have gone
like
too
you-
far, but I think a lot of it's been blown out of proportion, and it's people
Till you
actively-
get arrested
actively trying to incite violence and that, which is not allowed under our
I'm not so sure.
constitution.
I'm not so sure that's been the not so
What?
sure. It's
No,
not so
because
sure
you're
it's
being. No, that was. You are sure because that's what happened. Go look up all the cases, every single one of them, and you're not going to get anyone who was just
Am I supposed to do that now?
who was
while I'm
just
on the
arrested
podcast?
for a meme. No, not
Yeah.
today. The next week.
You reckon no one's been just arrested just for a meme, for reposting
No.
someone else's meme?
I don't think so.
Okay. I think you got too much faith in British law.
No, I've got lots of faith in that most of what we think happened didn't actually happen.
I know that reality's a lie. I know that.
No, I wasn't talking about that. Just talking about shit media
You're gonna
and
get
social
deep.
media.
You're going to go deep on reality's the lie.
Well,
Didn't you ask me anyway about when we talked about paranormal stuff and like how do we get onto
well,
this?
went off. I don't know because we started talking about going on in the world. And
Yeah.
anyway, let's move on from this. We don't want to go too far on this shit.
Did I talk? Oh yeah. Ask me.
Oh, she what?
I know magic. Something. Ask me to say magic. Oh, tell me.
Bro,
something.
did you
Right,
do any
anyway.
magic this week?
Yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, I did earlier today. Right. 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 I've got a. This is my evidence of maybe manifestation. Right. I've got a car parking servitor. Gets me car parks. Does spaces everywhere, all day long.
We have discussed this before many times.
Yeah. And basically, I had to do a pickup, right? And apparently, tonight in my job, I had to go and do a late pickup. And I always say, I don't do late pickups. It's not my thing. I'm not going to do it.
Wasn't actually that late.
Just shut up.
Right.
It's late for me because I don't do fucking overtime. Don't finish late. Anyway, so I was like,
Lying again. You're doing overtime tomorrow.
stop. Shut up a minute. Yeah,
Just
I'm
want to be
working tomorrow.
fair and
Okay,
you know
but
truthful
but
with our listeners.
generally, just the general thing was like, so I got to this place. I thought, I wonder if I can use my my car parking servitor to get him to make a move on. I've tried to use it for all different things. Like it can't get me money. It doesn't get me any money. There's certain things that well, everything basically apart from car parking spaces. But I thought maybe I can use it to. Can he move on? Like move someone on. So okay, cool. So I was like, okay, I'm going to meditate. Well, it's like 4:10 or something when I was there. And I was like, right. So I started to meditate, and I fell asleep, right? And someone tapped on my van, like, we're ready for you. I was like, wow, it really worked really quickly. And I looked, and it was like 20 to 5. So I got to sleep for about sort of 25 minutes or something like that, whatever the time was. And he was like, oh, you're ready for you. It's like, cool. All right. I said, that's quick. Yeah. So we've got some more stuff. He said, but the labels aren't printing. So we can't do it for you. So you don't have to wait. So you can just take it. And I thought, So I could take the stuff. They couldn't, but they didn't have to wait because they couldn't do the labels for the other stuff. Did my servitor fuck up their labels so I could go?
Maybe
Yeah.
it did.
There you go. It was a very quick working. I was like, yeah, nodded off into the zone. There you go, sir. How cool is that?
Yeah. Coincidence.
Maybe not. Well, I don't believe in
Probably
coincidences,
not.
So I saw even the boxes. They had them on a trolley, ready to go, but they couldn't get the labels. They wheeled them away. Like, off you go. I was like, yay. So yeah. So
So you think that was
And it's possible. I'm gonna start utilising that for getting
all right, fair enough.
quicker outcomes for stuff. Maybe.
If you think that was magic, then it can be magic. I think it
Maybe.
wasn't. I think it was technology. Technology that didn't work properly.
Because I used a little.
Was it
gremlin.
Elon Musk said so?
I've now got so now I've got a car parking servitor and I've got a technology servitor. you go.
A technology breaking servitor.
Yeah, I don't want to
I need
little
technology
gremlin.
to be
Just chuck
broken.
into trying to think
A
about it.
gremlin. Just call it a gremlin.
Got a little gremlin runs around. Don't mess me, bro. Don't mess me, bro. Send my gremlin to you.
Don't send your gremlin after me. You won't be able to do the podcast.
No, exactly. Yeah. I won't. Cool. So yeah, that's my.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. What was we going to talk about tonight?
We're going to talk about. Do you know what? Can I just wheel back quickly?
Yeah.
There's been like. I've seen loads of videos of people seeing spirals in the sky.
Yeah.
UK, Europe, America.
The same spiral.
Like, well, I don't know because people were like, "We've seen this spiral." And didn't I don't know SpaceX, NASA, whoever came out, wouldn't be NASA because they're not part of it, but came out and were like, "It's SpaceX's fuel dumping or some shit like that." Like that's why you've seen this spiral. It's like the fuck, and then just no. It's like it's not. I don't know. Just stupid. You wouldn't like. It's like going off into space in America. Like there's like a big spiral going across the sky in England, UK, and stuff like that. And then there's loads of things for antiquity of like people,
spirals.
you know, yeah, spirals. Like it's a big
Do you reckon it's a portal to Mars?
I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's definitely a bit. It's definitely something. It's interesting. It's an interesting.
Or it could
thing.
just be fuel dumping.
It's not fuel dumping, but then I've seen some videos of this.
So sure.
No, it's not. But also, and then you see these videos of like again other spirals. You think so fake. I don't know why you just mess with the whole thing of it. The whole investigation.
Putting out fake stuff.
It's like fuck's sake. Just stick to the.
Could all be fake. People. All of them could have been fake, though.
Everything's fake. I know that. Shut up.
No. I mean, like an AI. There's so much AI stuff now that's looking really good. You can't tell the difference between, the videos that are being put out.
Yeah, 100%. It's crazy.
A few more years, we won't have any clue what's real, what's not.
That's how I got to experience it within my own aura, eyes, whatever. We don't. We're in the simulation. That's why we don't know what's right and what's real, what's whatever. Anyway, yeah, we're talking about that was off on a tangent. Anyway, the point was there's been lots of UFO sightings and stuff like that. Loads of people talking about UFOs and stuff, and it's going to be come out in whatever.
Yeah.
But throughout the ages and stuff like, there's all been different UFOs and stuff like that. What we're talking about is aliens, UFOs, sorry, interfering with technology. That's what we're talking about, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, basically, we are talking about a few events that people have reported on where the aliens messed with nuclear weapons.
Well, we don't know. As I pointed out again, you wouldn't know this, but someone posted some shit with things flying around. I was like, we don't care what they are. We care what's in them. Doesn't matter what technology is, does it? Matters who's guiding technology.
Okay,
you said aliens.
Aliens. So we don't know they're aliens. They may be us from the future. They could be
or anything.
A species that lives under the water. Before we go on that, did you see the other day there were people saying there was a big mothership under the water in the Gulf of Mexico or whatever?
Like, I haven't seen any videos of it or anything like that.
There was one video where there was a couple of lights in the sky. It was just people being really flabbergasted.
Was it not underwater?
I didn't see it. It was nighttime and there was two lights floating in the sky and people were saying that there was a underwater ship, but that no one actually filmed the underwater ship. Apparently it was a massive mothership under the water.
4 people see it and whatever.
I just kept seeing people talking about it and then they just showed this video nighttime with these couple of lights in the sky over the water. That's not conclusive proof.
Unless this mothership is sitting on my face, I don't believe it. That's what I say.
Yeah. I saw the woman the other day.
Come and sit on my face, mothership.
I saw the woman on saying that the Galactic Federation were going to turn up and they never turned up. Again, I didn't see what her excuse was to why they never turned up.
Again,
she usually just blames us for not being high enough vibrations or something.
They vibrate on, go. Fuck off.
No, we're not. Like as a collective species, our vibrations aren't high enough, so they won't come and see us.
Okay, Bye.
Or to like base.
Shut the door on the way out. That's what I say.
But anyway, let's get back to these. Or we end up talking.
Can I just say Galactic Federation is just another word for
controlling
Galactic
bastards.
Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Empire. Empire is everything. Right. Try to start. Right. This is my brother Stanley. He's done all the research and all that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't. I just looked at a few sites and copied and pasted.
Interviewed pilots from the RAF and stuff like that.
I haven't got a clue how this is going to go. Like usual. The reason I chose this is because I thought you got the war in Ukraine potentially could escalate to World War III with this posturing and whatever going on all across the world. So if they do start launching missiles, maybe the aliens will save us. So this is some proof that the aliens could.
Yeah. I also had a dream the other day, sorry, and just because we're talking about dreams earlier, I'm sorry really to chuck this in there, that the UK intercepted some incoming missile. Okay. Right, anyway, move on.
How do we intercept it in your dream?
We fired something at it.
We use lasers.
No, it wasn't. It was projectile fire. It's more like a
comet.
It's not a comet, but more like an asteroid. More like intercepting. No, it was definitely air defense anyway.
Okay.
Right. 1967, Maelstrom, AFB incident, Montana. Maelstrom Air Force Base is a United States Air Force Base located in Cascade County, Montana. It is named after Colonel Einar Axel Malmstrom, a World War II pilot who was killed in a plane crash. Maelstrom AFB is primarily responsible for housing and operating the 341st Missile Wing, which is one of 3 missile wings of the United States Air Force Global Strike Command. The main mission of Maelstrom AFB is to maintain and operate intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs for short. As part of the US nuclear deterrent, the base is equipped with Minuteman III ICBMs, which are stored in underground silos and carry nuclear warheads. Do you know why they call them Minutemen?
Because they can launch in a minute. I don't know.
Yes, that's true.
Was it?
Yeah. Let me carry on. On March 16, 1967, security personnel at Maelstrom Air Force Base reported seeing a large glowing red oval-shaped object hovering over Oscar flight missile silo area.
Hold on, can I just say, if you put Minutemen missiles launching from a silo into Leonardo AI thing, that does the pictures. You put that in there, it refuses to render any pictures because it's offensive content.
Why is it offensive content?
You put missiles. Missiles are offensive content, I think.
Okay.
I'm just telling you.
Nice. Glad I know that. I won't put that in there then to do it.
What? No, because I was looking for some art. So I put it in there to generate some art, and it's like, oh, you can't do that. You've got offensive. Okay. Whatever in your prompt.
Oh, okay. Shit. So
does it all the time with fucking if you put guns or murder, anything like that, anything of warlike. But no, you can't have that. Anyway, carry on.
Launch Officer Captain Robert Sales was on duty and received reports from guards about strange lights. He described the events in his own word on the Unexplained podcast. Would you like to carry on?
This is his own words.
Yes,
I'm not going to do an accent because I don't know what he sounds like. Well, in 1967, I was a missile. He doesn't sound like that. I was a missile launch officer at Maelstrom Air Force Base. He doesn't sound like either. Montana. But we had control of 10 nuclear missiles, and sometime in the evening, I got the first phone call from my security guard, and he said they'd seen some strange lights in the sky. So it was 1967, they're probably like, is this the Russians?
Probably, yeah.
Russians. Making no noise, flying very fast, stopping on a dime, reversing course, making 90-degree turns, noiseless. He said, they're not aircraft, sir. We had reports in the city of Great Falls in the newspaper at the time of people seeing these strange lights and reporting them as UFOs. He calls back and this time he's screaming into the phone. He's frightened. You could tell by his voice that he was very frightened. He said he had all the guards out with their weapons drawn. They were looking at glowing red-orange objects hovering above the front gate. It was a pulsating red-orange light. I told him, well, make sure you secure the facility. He was injured and he had to hang up. He was injured and he had to hang up. So he hung up the phone.
Now
All our
he's
missiles
injured.
started going no-go or shut down. We also had 2 sites, the launch facilities where the missiles were actually located, about a mile or so away. We had incursion lights at 2 of the facilities, so they got close to the site and saw UFOs hovering over those 2 sites. We had control of 10 nuclear missiles. They were probably down for about 24 hours, I estimate. After my commander spoke to the command post, he turned to me and said the same thing happened at another site. I thought it was that evening that the same thing had happened, but later on I found out that it was the Echo flight incident, which happened 8 days earlier. So these aliens are turned up. They're orange, so they're orbs, not exactly what you would call conventional flying saucers.
Yeah.
They're orbs.
Maybe they're
and
just like stealing their nuclear energy. They, taking some atomic energy from them. They could just be like random flying through the universe, solar system, came to planet Earth. Oh, look, there's some radiation source there to charge us up a bit so we can fly a bit longer.
Wouldn't you go for the huge radiation source that's fucking in the middle of the solar system, though, rather than come to Earth and sap it out of
Godzilla.
What, in the centre of our solar system? We've got a
sun.
huge fucking sun that's giving out radiation shit. Wouldn't you go there and get it instead of trying to siphon it out of nuclear missiles?
Maybe they can't go there because it's really hot.
Seems like a bad...
What?
What's it called?
They still...
Spaceship design.
Maybe not space. I didn't say spaceships, did I? Maybe
No, you said they're ciphering out. They need energy, so they're ciphering it out. But why build something that can fly across the galaxy? But you need to find.
I wasn't saying fly. I wasn't saying build something. I said they were beings.
Okay, they're beings that are traveling across the galaxy, but they need a very specific type of energy that's in nuclear warheads. See the problem here?
Yeah, I'd say they're. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay.
Anyway, they didn't siphon out. As far as we know, they didn't reduce the nuclear. We don't know till they try and fire them. They're probably not in service. These ones. They must have been replaced by now. But they turned off the missiles. The actual. They were offline for. Would you say 24 hours?
Yeah, but how does that even work? What was offline? Like the power to launch them, or they were
offline?
Yeah,
just like they weren't. I suppose they weren't connected.
They weren't.
Like they had gremlins in them.
So like the nuclear fusion or whatever couldn't occur. Or,
no, I don't think so. I think it was more to do if they couldn't launch the missiles. The facility was like dead for 24 hours in that sense.
Interesting. It could just be, I don't know. Anyway, the Pentagon's agency talked with investigating UFO unidentified. You don't need UFO. The Pentagon agency tasked with investigating UFO UAP phenomena is ARROW, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. In a breakthrough moment for those seeking UFO UAP disclosure, Robert Bob Salas testified before this group in February 2023. Although the incident occurred in 1967, it was the first time Miss Salas was able to officially go on record of any authoritative branch of the Department of Defense. Fuck's sake. Department. I'm not making any sense, am I? Department of Defense. Right. So that didn't make any sense to me. The Pentagon's agency tasked with investigating all this stuff. In a breakthrough moment, Robert Salas testified before this group in February. So basically,
the man who come out and said, eventually come out in 2023, like officially, and said officially in front of the when they would have those hearings about UAPs and that, and he said this happened. This actually happened.
Right, that's why I couldn't get my head around like that little bit. The missiles were spread across different launch facilities, including a single point technical failure, unlike
Including,
making
you
a
can't
single
read.
point.
You want glasses?
Making
Do you want
a
to borrow my
single point-
glasses?
Sorry, yeah. The incident was investigated by the Air Force, but no conventional explanation officially determined. So it couldn't have happened through the one thing couldn't have made it all go down because they weren't connected. Basically, that's what they're saying.
Well, it says
Declassified-
no conventional explanation was officially determined. So,
Yeah.
officially. Nudge,
unconventional,
nudge,
not
wink, wink.
conventional. I can't wink. Show off. Declassified documents confirm that missiles did go offline, although they don't definitively connect this to UFO activity. You can carry on because
And that's the end of that instance. So what do you think? Do you reckon that was true? I mean, it's one man's word.
It wasn't just one man's testimony, wasn't it? But
Yeah.
it wasn't just
I don't think,
obviously people.
I'm not sure there's been much else apart from, I think most of these cases is just on one man's say so. Fair enough. All right. This one happened earlier. That was
You're hoping it's true,
1967.
aren't
Yeah, I'm hoping it's
Yeah.
true. Why not?
you? Yeah.
This is the 1964 Big Sur incident in California. In September 1964, a tracking station at Big Sur was filming an Atlas missile test launch from the Vandenberg AFB. Air Force officer Robert Jacobs was tasked with operating the telescope camera to capture the missile's flight. When reviewing the film later with his superior, Major Florence Mansman, Mansman, he had to be in the army, didn't he, that bloke? They reportedly observed something extraordinary. On the morning of the 22nd of September 1964, Robert Jacobs prepared to oversee a test launch of an Atlas missile. It was perfect conditions for viewing any aerial object in the sky. While it was still dark on the ground, objects at a certain altitude in the sky above would catch the rising sun's light and glow magnificently against the still dark background. And what's more, this is a case for objects hundreds of miles away. So, does this prove the Earth's round?
We know the Earth's round.
Huh?
We know, what? Because of the reflection of the.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
anyway. We'll get away from that. These conditions were very much present on this morning, and further still, only if viewed from one spot, Big Sur, to the north and west of Vandenberg. The brief that Jacobs and his team were working to was to get side-on shots of the missile launch, and more specifically, its climb and stages of flight. Specifically, Jacobs would state that their mission statement in part was to provide information on the minute events following propellant depletion at a distance of from 300 to 800 nautical miles. There you go. Now you know what he was up to. In fact, so serious was the desire to capture such fine and detailed imagery that the Boston University telescope was literally hauled onto a truck and transplanted to the very specific spot at Big Sur. Carry on, bro?
Yeah, go on. Read this last little bit.
Right. The small team gathered at a safe distance, ready to watch the events they were about to record on the monitors. The launches themselves were part of the Nike Zeus project. Oh, sorry, it's American. It's Nike Zeus project, which looked to develop anti-missile technology, at least officially. So they were trying to say with that little, at least officially, they were going after something else.
Yeah.
Or and not anti-missile, was it anti-alien technology? They're looking at trying to shoot down UFOs. Against the ever-present threat of the Cold War, such experiments and projects would face very little questioning.
I know. Do you know what? I recognise this from from somewhere. I've seen this story. I know.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Just
talking
the whole
about UFOs and that, yeah.
Sure, it's to do with.
What?
This comes from the story about the guy who ends up building these giant fucking spaceships.
Giant lenses.
No, spaceships like they were building these massive spaceships.
I know
in
you
the
mean.
60s.
I can't remember the bloke's name. We have talked to it ages and ages ago on the podcast.
It's the same. I'm sure it's the same. Sure, and the Nike Zeus project, etc. You know, when you're just like, this is. Unless we've done this podcast before. No, we haven't. Not exactly the same. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Anyway, all eyes, including that of the Doesn't it seem a bit strange, though, because of what's going to happen? Like, they took this big telescope to watch this specific launch, and then they get this specific information. Do you know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah, maybe. But then again, you don't know.
Yeah.
This was one, but they could have used the telescope 20 other times. We don't know, do we?
All eyes, including that of the Boston University telescope camera, focused on the launch. And what's more, as was perfectly obvious to Jacobs and the team, as the missile travelled in excess of 100 nautical miles, the conditions and the focus of the shot could not have been more clean. Yeah. In fact, it was perfectly obvious that they had achieved their objective to the letter. As they shook hands, offering and accepting congratulations for each other, the 35mm film continued to film. Jacobs would take this film with him in the 2 metal cans to the processing laboratory back at the base. He would process the film immediately so it would be ready for his superiors to view the following day. However, before he could bask in the sense of achievement that was quietly building inside of him, he would receive a phone call back at his desk. On the other end of the line was Major Mansman. He would order Jacobs to the headquarters building, where his office was immediately. Upon arriving there, Jacobs noticed 2 strange men waiting for Mansman. He also noticed a movie projector, very purposely set up for this meeting, in the middle of the room. You read.
Each of the men donned plain grey suits, and although they said little, their presence was also palpable. Within seconds of the office door closing, the lights dimmed and the projector was clicked into action. On the wall, from the light of the projector, the footage they filmed was the footage they filmed from Big Sur. Despite the bizarre nature of the events unfolding, Jacobs remembers feeling a further sense of achievement at how clear the footage was. He continued to watch the footage. When it neared the end, however, Mansman would tell him, "Watch carefully now." He did, and immediately saw that the men were drawing his attention to. He would state, "Another object flew into the frame, from left to right. It approached the warhead package and manoeuvred around it. That is, this thing flew a relative polar orbit around the warhead package, which was itself heading towards the South Pacific at some 18,000 miles an hour. Then an already bizarre incident took an even more bizarre twist. At approximately the 4 compass points of its orbit, this strange object emitted 4 distinct flashes towards the missile. In fact, the flashes, Jacob would argue, must have sufficient power intensity, as the flashes were clearly visible, almost like a strike which caused the halo to briefly form. Furthermore, as the object departed the frame back in the direction it entered, Jacobs could see it was a classic flying saucer with a clear dome in the middle of the top part, from which the beams of light had emerged. However, the missile itself, or more specifically the warhead, tumbled out of suborbit, falling to the ground. He immediately understood the gravity of the situation. As he would later state, this unidentified flying thing had apparently shot down an American dummy atomic warhead.
Right, let me carry on. Jacobs related to attest his belief that the technology on display was obviously highly advanced. Whether in the room the lights would suddenly come on, and Manson would inquire whether he or any of his team were fooling around up there at Big Sur. When he responded that this certainly wasn't the case, Mansman would ask, "Then what the hell was that?" It was then that Jacobs, perhaps without thinking, replied, "As a matter of fact, it looks like it's a UFO, sir." The silence that would follow his statement was almost deafening in itself. Both the mystery men continued to stare at Jacobs without saying a word. He noticed Mansman looking at the men also. Then he turned his attention back to Jacobs, stating, "Let's just say it never happened. You are to say nothing of this footage to anyone. As far as you are concerned, this never took place." Now, stop there. It's like the Men in Black, a little bit, isn't it? No, the 2 strange men, or not necessarily strange. Just, well, he wouldn't have even wouldn't have even noticed what happened if they hadn't pointed it out to him. So they've come point it out and say, don't say anything, even though he wouldn't have said anything because he wouldn't have noticed it. So they've pointed it out so that he would see it. You know, it's like make it obvious, make it known, but without making it known.
I mean, this is the telling of the story we've got here.
What do you mean?
I mean, this is the way it's been set up here. Maybe he'd already looked at the film and noticed it, said to his... But then again, why wouldn't he just say that in the story? Yeah, it does seem a bit like, look at this, but don't say anything. It's a bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're right. It is very strange.
The whole point of it, isn't it? Right. Jacob slipped his attention back to the two men for a moment, perhaps hoping against hope that the whole situation was some kind of bizarre joke. Their rigid, serious manner told him it wasn't. Jacobs wasn't sure how long he sat there staring into space. It could have been a few minutes, most likely only a few seconds. As you relayed everything that could have happened over the last 24 hours, the very surreal moment now. He couldn't escape the feeling that what was the most fantastic event of his life was something he was being asked not to only keep secret, but just deny all together. Their man's voice would bring back to his senses, reminding him that he didn't need to remind him of the seriousness of the security breach. Jacobs agreed, indicating he would acquiesce to their request. As Manson walked Jacobs out of his office, he would state to him, "What you just saw did not take place. It never happened." Well, it did. Before Jacobs could argue, Mansman would offer a final piece of advice that if he were ever to be questioned to the point where he could not get out of answering, he was... To them, the flashes were from laser tracking. With that, Jacobs was helped out of the room and a door shut behind him. What is interesting here is Jacobs himself would state such technology as laser tracking didn't exist in the early 1960s, at least not publicly anyway.
There you go.
Yes. So laser tracking, were they trying to say they had laser tracking? Like even to chuck that in there?
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know.
We've got stuff that you shouldn't know about, basically, sort of thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you've just seen this that you didn't. We're just showing you this UFO that you didn't know actually was out there at the time, and now we're telling you it was laser tracking, which doesn't mean anything to you because you don't understand what laser tracking is.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
But don't mention don't mention the UFO, but mention laser tracking, which isn't a thing.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
So if you did mention laser tracking, people would be like, "What's laser tracking? We've never heard of that."
Exactly, yeah. Like chucking,
right, Jacobs didn't go public with this story until 1982, nearly 2 decades after the incident. The original film footage had never been made publicly available, with the military reportedly confiscating it. Some skeptics question whether the incident happened as described, given the delayed reporting and the lack of corroborating physical evidence. So what do you reckon? There's lots of holes in that story, isn't there? Well, it's a bit of a strange... It does sort of go with the Men in Black thing, though, where
it does, definitely.
they show you stuff.
Is it? I think there's footage of this incident.
No, there isn't footage. That's the whole point. There isn't footage. I think there's
I've seen it.
Yeah, no, there's recreations. There's people have made recreations of it.
The
footage has gone missing.
I've seen it.
Yes, you've seen a recreation. There's also one still frame out there that people say is related to it.
I feel like I've seen it. I'm just saying, in a weird way. We're on to a new incident now. Can we go on to a new incident?
Yes. Although I haven't read through this one, so I really don't know what's going on.
Kosovo incident, Ukraine. Dun, 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 1982. Following the complete collapse of the Soviet Union in December of 1991, a few Soviet military commanders started to come forward to talk about an incident that took place on the night of October 4th, 1982. Some former Soviet military commanders believe that we may have been much closer to World War III due to this one particular incident. On the night of October 4th, 1982, a large UFO was reported hovering above the Soviet nuclear missile base near the Ukrainian town of... by Lukharovich. The dimension of this object was reported to be as high...
Nailed it.
To be as high as sometime...
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. I'm just going to carry on. Several R2 nuclear missiles activated without permission to launch. The missiles being received from Moscow. The missiles, it's just been translated from Russian.
No, the missiles activated without permission to launch. The missiles being received from Moscow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not the best written thing ever.
No. Before the missiles activated, none of the missile launch officers had activated the launch sequences on the missiles. When the object first appeared over the base and a general area, 20-year-old radio operator Vladimir Matyaveyev and close to 1,000 soldiers and Soviet officers watched the UFO for nearly an hour as it hovered over the base, housing the Soviet R-12 nuclear missiles. This object, as described by the Matyav, hovered at a distance of nearly a mile and a half away from where he was and his fellow soldiers were stationed. According to Matyav, the object was nearly as tall as a 5-story house. Okay, so big. It's a big object, yeah. Just hovering there, deactivating. But they didn't deactivate them; they activated them. So it's like
yeah. I read next bit. Yeah, the Americans' way with deactivating this turns out to be the opposite. Captain Valery Polikev, who was on his way home, reported seeing 2 brightly lit objects at around 3 to 4 miles in altitude. Bollockhead, yeah. These 2 objects, according to Bollockhead, appeared to be in the shape of a Christmas tree decoration. I mean, that could... What does that even mean? There's loads of different Christmas tree decorations. It's very specific to...
A bear, giant chocolate bear.
Soviet Russia, would they have Christmas trees? I thought Christmas was probably banned, weren't it?
I don't think they banned Christmas.
But they didn't have religion. They got rid of it, didn't they? Generally?
Wow.
All right, anyway, we're getting distracted by pointless shit.
Yeah.
He also reported that these objects were anywhere between 1 and 2 miles apart from each other. In his report to Moscow, Captain Bollockhead also stated that the objects changed from one elliptical shape to a straight line. Several other Soviet commanders in that same area also reported seeing the same object from several different locations in and around Baikalorovich.
Nailed it.
At the time. Later on that evening, Captain Bollockhead reported seeing the same object around 8 p.m. that day. This time, it was reported that the object had flashed brightly and went out. It then reappeared to flash again before an elliptical arrangement of 6 to 8 lights surrounding the object. After the object flashed the last time, a ball of light appeared to break off and flew towards the ground, disappearing before reaching the surface. Captain Kolovenko, who was in Captain Bollockhead's car with him, also reported nearly the same exact thing to Moscow after the events. Do you reckon they'd been at the potato vodka?
Been on the vodka. Yeah.
You're always going to say that,
like Bollockhead.
But his name, Bollocky.
I can get some better names, really. Major Libitsky and Captain Raya Bininin were driving along a road between the villages of Perobrody and Yosovo when they saw the object as well. In a report to the Kremlin, Libitsky reported that the object itself was hovering somewhere above the village of Yosovo. They reported seeing the lights as 5 groups in the area, nearly as equal to the settings. Reported seeing the lights as 5 groups in an area, nearly as equal to the setting sun on the horizon.
I suppose the brightness.
All right.
I think they mean the brightness of the lights equal like a setting sun.
Could be like setting. Okay. At the time they spotted the lights, these objects were hovering above about 90 to 100 feet above the edge of the nearby forest. Although Major Lipitsky and Captain Robinin, Senior Lieutenant Kobolyansky and Major reported seeing an unidentified object on the road between the hours of 7:30 and 9 p.m. that night. One of them reported that an electromagnetic effect of some kind had affected the radio of the car which they were travelling in. It is possible that the car radio they had on may have been affected by an electromagnetic force if an unidentified flying object responsible. If you folks have ever have your AM radio turned on in your vehicle, if you can even do that now, you pass under power lines with the AM radio on, you will hear static. That's been generated by the electromagnetic field surrounding the power lines. So basically, like their car was affected when they were like...
Radio was.
Near these things.
Objects. At the same exact time, a much different story was going on in the bunker when the object was overhead and as the object was being sighted by military commanders in the area. Major M. Davidovich Kataman, senior assistant to the commander of military unit 52035's communication service, who was in charge of computerized control panels for the long-range missiles located at the base, even though he did not see the object himself since he was down in the bunker. What he saw in military speak was the stuff of nightmares for him and his fellow officers. In his report to Moscow, he stated that he observed the spontaneous illumination of all the displays on the control panels of the missiles. Judging by what Major Kataman saw, he believed that someone or something was putting in the precise launch codes to activate the missiles. These launch codes regulated the computerized missile launch control panel. Testing the parameters measurements on the apparatus showed no defects with the machines according to the technical maps. According to the technical maps for the apparatus, it was functioning as it was designed to. However, that was before and after the displays had lit up. It is believed that the objects may have sent a powerful electromagnetic pulse down to the bunker, which in turn activated the missile launch control sequence.
According to the investigation conducted by the KGB and the Kremlin at the time, the given explanation to the unexplained lights was due to military exercise being conducted in the area. The closest military exercise going on that night was happening over 200 miles away. Then, how do you explain the mysterious activation of the launch control panel to several nuclear missiles when no one had ordered or gave the authorization codes to launch? If it was a military exercise, then why hadn't any commander in the area been notified that an exercise was taking place? If that is the case, then what was it that over 1,000 military personnel witnessed or experienced firsthand that night?
What was it then?
Jesus.
Okay.
Jesus, it was Santa Claus flying around giving humanity a gift of peace.
So what do you reckon about this one?
It's basically the same as the other one.
Opposite, because it
opposite.
doesn't shut them down, it opens, it's like
Just
activates the
control,
missiles.
isn't it? We can turn them off and turn them on.
Yeah.
You're never going to use them.
But why?
Maybe they like, we can, if you, maybe it could be a show, again, of force. Like, you know, when you've had like the Truman, Truman agreement, like to do with letting them take certain amounts of humans and stuff like that. Maybe it's just a show. If we want, we can destroy you, sort of thing. You know, the
Yeah.
whole thing. Someone knows that they're going to do it. That, you know, obviously the military, the normal grunts, everything like that. Most of the people don't know what's going on, but someone knows. So when something like that happens, it gets reported to them. They're like, okay, we really are under the control of something else.
Why are the reports we get, the reports from Americans are turning off their missiles, but the reports from Russian is turning on their missiles? I mean, there could be Russian reports from turning off as well. But there isn't a lot of stuff out of Russia. We can turn that off,
we can turn it on. I think that's...
I know, but they're not the same forces, are they? They're not talking to each other. If this happened, Russians are not saying, oh yeah, alien. They're not telling America UFOs turn down missiles on, and America's not telling Russia UFOs turn down missiles off.
Someone knows. Someone's in control of, you know, who's made the deal with these aliens. It's nothing to do with, again, it's not Russians, it's not Americans. Someone's made a deal. And they're like, you can't renegade on this deal because we can control and destroy you or do whatever we want. You know, you've got to think above Russia, think above America. Maybe, maybe it's the other war that's going on. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
You know, so it's something above the powers that we think that they think they are. It's something else.
On the one hand, they're like, oh, we can turn your missiles off, but on another hand, they're like, if we want to, we can start a nuclear war and destroy you all.
Yeah, or maybe they were like, the UFOs on one side were like, we're going to turn off your missiles, and the ones on the other side, right, we're going to turn your one.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe it's different.
Maybe they're on different sides. And they're like, yeah, we're going to turn them off, but we're going to fuck you up. And you know what I mean? Like, who knows?
This one happened? This is 1982, though.
Yeah, 1963, 1983.
The others were in the 60s.
Yeah.
So they're turning them off in the 60s and turning them on in the 80s.
Is that significant?
I don't know.
Maybe 60s one was like, you're too close to nuclear war, and the 80s one was, you're not close enough to nuclear war.
Yeah, maybe.
But scare people. You know, you haven't had the Cuban Missile Crisis has been a while, so now you've
Anyway, there's a couple of other things I just want to say about. I was looking through like different stories. There's stories concerning Chernobyl when that happened and the Fukushima. There's reports of like lights and craft over both of those sites after it happened. And both of them, you can find reports of the craft interacting with the melting down reactors, and the nuclear readings before and after their like interactions, beams of light being fired into them, whatever. After the beams of light had been fired, the nuclear output was reduced drastically, apparently.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't.
I mean, these are stories, so I don't know if there's any.
These disasters might have been a lot worse than they were if there hadn't been intervention, sort of thing.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Oh, so like, sometimes you see like volcanoes
Yeah.
erupting, and you see like lights and stuff. It's like, oh, that's UFOs, and people go, oh, they made this happen. Maybe they're just making it less each time. When you've seen
although
earthquakes,
a volcano's not the same as a.
It's not the same.
Output,
It's relative. I mean, it could be the same. If a super volcano went off like super volcano, no, they're not super volcanoes, but you're just talking about maybe it's like history changing history.
Maybe
even if it's to do with volcanoes, earthquakes. When you've had like bad earthquakes and you've seen like UFOs and stuff and lights and shit. Maybe it is changing history.
The reason I bring that up is because if there is nuclear Armageddon, there's potential for aliens to come along and lower the radiation so humanity doesn't get wiped out.
Also, potential for them to stop the missiles going off.
Oh yeah, and that, or start it. There's all scenarios are open to interpretation here.
Stop the missiles, then start the missiles, then let them explode.
So start the missiles, launch all the missiles so they're all out of the silos, and then deactivate them all in the air. Well, maybe they should just deactivate them all and leave them in the silos. That'd probably be more helpful than having, nuclear material falling all over the place. But then if the nuclear material did fall over the place, then they can just negate the fallout anyway.
Brilliant.
Maybe that was them sucking up energy.
Probably was.
Maybe they got fed up of flying to the sun. It's like, this is melting down. We'll just suck that up.
We need evidence. We need a.
I don't think any of this is evidence. This is just stories that people said.
Someone to fire off a nuke and then.
We really don't want that.
We do, and see if the aliens. They should do it just to see if the aliens interfere.
I don't think they're going to interfere.
They should do it.
Who should? yeah. Give them an ultimatum.
Yeah, prove you're here.
Yeah, prove you're here because I'm going to nuke. So where you find your missile on? Who are you nuking? You can't just say the sea because that's pointless.
I thought about the sea. Right.
You have to threaten something. So what are you threatening? This is going to be a very telling.
Hang on. I feel like I shouldn't say it on radio.
You probably shouldn't, but this is going to show what your what's it called? Your biases and prejudices are.
Pearl Harbor, then.
Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Ow. Shocking. What did they ever do to you?
Significant, isn't it?
Okay. So your ultimatum to the aliens is how long are you giving them to? Not they need to organise.
I don't know, just 12 minutes or something, isn't it?
12 minutes. Well, you're just going to do it. You're not warning anyone. You're not going to let Pearl Harbor get evacuated or whatever.
No, I'm warning the aliens, telling them when a nuke, you've got proof that you can do it. Otherwise, unlucky Pearl Harbor. What unlucky?
That's harsh.
Well, it is, but who would you do then?
I don't know. I think I'd find like a deserted island.
Can't do deserted island.
No. Listen. In the Pacific, which has a large population of lizards.
Fuck, I missed that one.
Just for the potential of creating Godzilla, because that could be dangerous in the future.
Sorry, my box.
That's what I'm choosing.
Godzilla just knocked my box over and everyone's going to go.
Because obviously no one wants Godzilla going about.
I do.
Although the aliens could obviously reduce Godzilla nuclear fire breath.
I would.
Possibly.
You know what? I went to the sea the other day. Where did we go? I went to I fucking remember now. Kent, somewhere in Kent. And I was like sitting by the sea, looking at the sea, thinking, it'd be glorious, absolutely glorious if Godzilla stuck his head up now and started walking out. It'd be amazing.
You would
And I was
literally
like,
shit your pants.
I would shit my
Poo
pants.
would come out.
I would shit my pants. I would shit over everybody there. And I was like, can I just see like a whale or a seal or anything like that? And nothing. Although we were walking along, did hear a big splash. It was like, what the fuck?
Mermaid.
But I didn't see anything. Maybe, yeah.
Definitely a mermaid.
It was 100% a big, really fat mermaid.
Did you
Fat mermaid.
Did you sing to it to try and bring it back to entice it back to the shore?
Would you eat a mermaid?
Would I eat a mermaid? No, why would I eat a mermaid?
With chips.
I mean, what bit are we talking about? Like the tail was just going to be fishy, but the top part's
It'd be like oyster roll, wouldn't it?
Like human.
Mermaid roll.
It'd feel like cannibalism if I ate a
Oh
mermaid.
yeah. Do you think they're like their tails, like legs are like fishy, like
Yeah.
cod, and the rest of them's
100%.
like human?
Yeah,
Point
it's
is
like
it-
like a pigfish.
Do you reckon mermaids lay eggs?
Mermaids definitely lay eggs.
Awesome.
No, I don't know.
I don't know what to say now.
Do they lay eggs? What do you think?
I'm just.
Did we do an
thinking
episode on
Sally-
mermaids? I don't think we had this conversation in that episode.
Probably we didn't have that. No, we didn't know.
It's probably different types. Some of them probably lay eggs. Some of them probably have live young.
I know it's really.
Mermaids have got boobs, so what have they got
It's a
boobs
bit,
for
it's
if
a
they're
bit
not?
perverse. I'm just
They're
trying to
not
picture in my head
suckling
how to have
milk.
like how do you have intimacy with a mermaid? Like
You
'cause they're
don't.
Like, all, it's like
Just don't. It's just
like the
weird.
legs, that's-
Weird.
if you're
No,
like
it's really
stuck
weird.
on- Yeah, but how do you though?
No, you don't.
Yeah, but how?
Yeah, if you ask that question, it's just weird.
Do they like? Is it like fish where they squirt their eggs out and that's all it is? You just got to like
I don't know.
on their eggs. You don't
Yeah,
really get any-
yeah.
Anyway,
Wrong. Smell a lot.
maybe the I don't know. Anyway, this is Big Conspire episode 112.
Should we get out of here?
Before it gets
Oh,
really
are the aliens coming to save us? Still,
I think
are they behind it
no,
all?
they're behind all of it.
100%,
yeah.
Maybe back next week. Once again, catch us on the socials. Look for the Big Conspire wherever you want to contact us. You got any topics you'd like us to look at? Send an email to bigconspire@hotmail.com or
If
on
you've got
the
any topics
socials.
you don't want us to look at.
Yeah, send us something there. I keep forgetting to do the correspondence, don't I? That little bit. Anyway, next week.
Or do you have any
That's it.
correspondence?
No, we haven't got any.
Brilliant. Cool. All right, I'm Rick.
I'm Lee, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
There's no sign